welcome back to another edition of Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. My name is Chad Beard, and I'm a country music artist, content creator, and NASCAR superfan, joined as always by my illustrious co-hosts. Let me introduce them to you. If mullets were a religion, he'd be the Pope. Slicker than the fresh tires and twice as wild after midnight. He's the hangover-fueled VIP hustler from Ohio. The one, the only, the follicle phenom, Rick, no walk of shames, just victory laps, Kojan.
No walk
What's
of
up?
shames.
What's up, y'all? We're all good. Hair's good. It's happy to be back. Thank you for having both of us, and looking forward to it.
This has got its own personality.
Now it's an entity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for having both of us. The podcast is now 4 of us.
Yes.
What else
Oh.
you got, Chad?
All right. Put your phones on silent and your browser in incognito because Chris, the Supreme Court Justice, is in session. He's half NASCAR horsepower, half legal loophole, and 100% the reason HR drinks before meetings. Give it up.
Hey,
Nice.
welcome back, boys. That was another classic. I really appreciate these intros. I may have to do like some of our guests and change up my bio stuff with some of these intros you've been giving me lately.
You definitely got to add your Supreme Court Justice on there.
Yeah, that's
I think that's a must now. I think that's stuck. It's sticking now.
It's there. It's
Yeah,
there.
it's there. For sure.
Ricky, how was the weekend at the track?
it
I
wasn't.
called on him right after he got a sip.
It
Oh.
wasn't.
Okay. You had a little retirement, right?
Yeah, now you're spot on. So actually, I think I texted you guys because one of the things that was so beautiful about this weekend is I got to watch both races as a super fan.
Love it.
So I got to get back into it. I got to experience what it was like watching it in a bar with no, or whatever, a gastropub, whatever the hell they call it in Southern California, with no audio. But I had that up. I had the Ohio State game up. I was very happy, but that's one way to take it in. The next day I countered, and from my hotel room with some beverages and some lunch, I watched it and could listen to the broadcast and listen to Lee Diffie. And again, these are things that when we're at track, as much as we are, you kind of lose track of. Wait, when you're at track, you lose track. And that's only my first sip.
How do you feel about Lee Diffie and his renditions of the race per lap?
You know, I'm okay with him. I know there's a whole thing because of his inflection and everything. And I say British. Chad corrects me and tells me he's Australian. And I think he's insightful. I think he knows the sport. And I just think that, like, in general, people don't like change. And I don't either. I get it. And I know how Joe Superfan is. And that's not necessarily you, Chad. I'm the broader Joe Superfan. And I just think, I can't really understand him, this and the other, but I like Diffie. I think he's good.
I think it's good because it gives you another viewpoint and it brings in another side of racing, right?
Yep.
So he's going to bring his own fans to the sport, right? Just to watch him and to hear him commentate what we do every week. So I think it was a good move to have him be, in the booth, on the broadcast side.
Yeah, I think a lot, and and I don't know this, but I think a lot of people too didn't necessarily like the way that things went down with the whole switch out from Rick Allen to him, and kind of how NBC handled that whole deal. So
Politics as usual.
yeah, that is what it is. But I think he's a great announcer. I think he's a super insightful guy, like you guys said.
Yeah.
Chris, what'd you have this weekend?
Man, I was still on recovery mode, so I was low key. No track for me last weekend. I will be there this week and the remainder though. So Rick and I will get back to business. And
Thank God, I miss you at track. It's like, Jesus Christ, you work all day, and I'm looking for my running mate, my wingman. I want to eat good food. I want to watch some. There's great college football on usually when
great college football
night. Got you there, and it's definitely an empty hole. So
well, we're all good moving forward.
Yeah, well, and I get to be with you this weekend, so that'll be
Yeah,
fun. We
be a
got
good
some
time.
guests coming into town. That's going to be fun. I got to hang out this weekend. I had my little man, so he wanted to know, Daddy, are we watching Kyle Larson race? And so we watched Kyle Larson race. We watched Alabama beat Georgia on Saturday
Yeah,
night.
by the way, I mean, I know I give you some shit about your Crimson Tide. That was one of the games that was obviously on. That was one of the late night watches or later game watches. Man, they deserved every bit of that to go into Athens and take that win. Holy cow.
I
What a
mean,
redeeming victory.
especially first half. I don't know that I've ever seen an offense more efficient than they
Yep.
played in the first
Good
half.
for you.
I
They
mean,
put
yeah,
on a clinic. They definitely put on a clinic first half.
I
For
will
sure.
take it for sure. All right, well, let's get into some three wide.
Rewind.
Let's go.
All right, so it was announced this past week that uh, Cup Series champion crew chief Rodney Childers will make his return to NASCAR, but this time in the Xfinity Series with Junior Motorsports. He's going to crew chief the number one car, which Junior Motorsports said will be split next year between Carson Quapple, who is the current full-time driver there, and Connor Zillage, who currently drives the 88 car, and now he's going to move up to the cup level full time, but he's going to still apparently take some rides in that one car.
Carson and Connor. Nobody will screw that up next year on the broadcasts.
Yeah. So thoughts on Rodney's return, what that means to JRM, what it means to NASCAR, and just throw in your thoughts of, obviously this is kind of a back-end announcement that Carson Quapple is not going to be full-time next year. Rick, you're up first.
Um, I think it's great. I think it's excellent that for the sport that a crew chief with the kind of pedigree background that Rodney Childers has returning to the sport. Junior Motorsports, obviously, listen, there's going to be 4 bullets in that chamber that are always running up front. But I thought you had asked the question about, like, what does it mean for the sport, Rodney? What does it mean potentially? I thought you said a cup return. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think it's got a damn thing to do with a cup return. Zero. And I think why this is a good fit is 2 reasons. Just obviously, I knew Rodney Childers a bit in passing during that, close down year at Stewart Haas. Chris can probably comment on this better. I'm just going to say this. I think as a crew chief, his toolbox and skill set is better matched to an Xfinity car as to what he can do, what he can affect, and what he can bring to bear beyond a cup car, present cup car platform. Because remember, that was different. And part 2 to that, Rodney, like, he'll say hi to me in the pits. Like, I'm like, how do you even remember me? Like, I think he's a good, down to earth human being. And I know he's a God fearing human being. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will appreciate an Xfinity schedule to be home with his family on Sundays and go to church and do things like that. And I don't think there's any cup avenue or hidden agenda or, oh, he's going to be in the fold so that when Junior goes cup racing full time, blah, blah, blah. And again, I could be wrong. You're the super fan. You know all the rumors, but you asked me first. There's my answer.
Chris?
I think it's a good move. To coattail on what some of Rick was saying, yes, the schedule definitely leads to more family home balance. You don't have the rigor of the cup schedule. To Rick's point, the Xfinity car builds versus the Gen 7 Cup car builds are definitely different.
Yep.
And I agree that those Xfinity cars are tailored towards some of the things that you can do to the race car performance wise that you can't do on the cup cars now. And that's not saying that you're trying to beat the system, but just the way those cars are built, you still have some craftsmanship involved in those cars. They're not all, you know, cookie cutters like the Cup
Right.
cars are now. So there is flexibility in there to create your own. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's been around a while. He's had some success. He had a lot of success with Harvick.
Yep.
So his notebook is pretty thick, so he has some things to lean on, some situations that he had to undertake and go through. And, you know, I think he'll fit in over there. He's a racer,
Yep.
an old driver himself. So, he knows what it takes to win.
Yeah, I think
Super fan, what say you?
Yeah, I think it's a good fit as well. I think his personality works well with Junior and Kelly and LW and everybody in that shop. It is very like the old school racer mentality, kind of similar to what, I think Stuart Haas was. I mean, obviously you guys can speak to that better than I can, but yeah, I think personality wise, I think it'll be a good fit. I think he's a guy who is knowledgeable. I think that he can help develop those young drivers and really teach them a lot. I would have loved to have seen him get more time with Josh Berry and have seen what that could have worked into in the right circumstance and all that stuff. So I think it'll be neat to see what he can do with these younger drivers.
Yep.
The other part of that is the Carson Kvapil deal kind of caught me by surprise. I did, number one, we kept hearing rumors that he had signed a Penske development deal that was supposed to start next year. And obviously, if that were the case and that were happening, he would have to get in the Ford camp somewhere. I mean, I guess there's still lots of uncertainty with the development pipeline of Ford at this point, with Haas factory team moving to Chevrolet. What happens with those satellite programs, the AM Racing, the other two teams that work,
Siegs,
yeah, the
right? The
SIGs that
Siegs.
work out of
Yep.
your
Yep.
uh, out of that garage, however that's going to shake out. So I don't know, and I have no inside knowledge of this at all, but it sounds like maybe that, deal kind of fell through last minute and maybe this is what they were able to put together to keep him racing somewhat. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe it was just a funding thing. I don't know. He seemed pretty well connected with with Johnny Morris, the Bass Pro Shop kind of deal. But I think he's a
And his
super.
dad running point for him,
Right.
right?
And I
Yeah.
think he's a super talented driver. We've not seen him get in victory lane yet, but he's been close a lot and he's put that car up front a lot this year. So I hope that he gets to continue to develop. Hopefully, maybe he can get in a truck some too and get some experience in truck. Um, and kind of fill out the schedule. I know that he had said that he wants to find any way to be at the racetrack as much as possible, as much seat time as he can get. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, with Connor moving to Cup, he only gets a certain amount of starts in Xfinity.
It's
We,
5.
Yeah.
I did hear the rumor the past couple of weeks, and I think Dale Jr. was asked about it too, that NASCAR is considering upping that number,
I see.
and raising the number of how many races you can compete in um, as a Cup driver. Um, so we'll see. Does that stay 5? Does it move up? Is it
Hmm.
8? Is it 10? Is it, do they turn them back loose? Um, but so it'll be interesting to see that breakdown and how much seat time Carson does get because if he can only run 5 and those two are splitting it, is he running the road courses for JRM in that one? How do they break that up?
Right.
So I think that could be an interesting dynamic there. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. So. All right, we were supposed to have a game that I did not get put together, so we're gonna put that off and come back to that. But
right.
so we're just gonna get right into the meat of it, fellas.
The meat,
Um,
he says.
yeah, let's talk some checkers, reggers, and what the heckers.
What the heckers?
Checkers, wreckers, and what the heckers.
What the?
Let's start
Yeah.
with Xfinity. Chris, you're up first for checkers for Xfinity.
Checkers is easy. Give it up to the winner, the 20.
Oh.
Fast car all day. That was an alley hoop there on the checkers. You know, lost the lead, gained the lead, lost the lead, regained the lead, raced hard to end, won it. Hats off to that crew.
Yeah, my checkers for this is actually gonna go to Butterbean Queen.
He was running
Uh
top 10 for a while.
so he qualified fourth in just his
Mhm.
second Xfinity start, and this was with Colleague Racing, and he brings it home or top 10 place, top 10 finish. He was the top non-playoff driver finisher as well. You know, that's the same car that Josh Williams was running in earlier this year. And then they stuck a couple cup guys in it for a while. But I mean, this kid, he is, all he has to do is start the ARCA race this next weekend and he will lock up the points championship. And then I mean, he's just showing some incredible talent. So
Wheel man in the making.
yeah, two Xfinity starts and brings home a top 10. Ricky?
Well, first of all, I think you're starting to take a shine to Butterbean Queen.
I like
That's
Butterbean.
that's just my personal opinion. I think you're starting to go Connor Zilic on him, but I'll leave that at that. I'm going to give a checkers to myself because I knew that Justice was going to throw the checkers for the race winner, which is where I was thinking. Instead, I took a familiar track that I take, which is take the siding labeled Homer and give it up for our Haas factory cars. And here's why. Because
Good.
I know what Mayer's up to. And all he's doing is being like a thief in the night and piling up stage points. Right? I think it was a third and a third, if I'm not mistaken. So that's an 8 and an 8. That's 16 more to go with. I think exactly when I approached him at the car the previous week before they took that ridiculous off week in the middle of their playoffs, he bagged 16 points there as well. So this is what you need other than your boy there in the 20 who clearly did what you had to do. You win, you move on. But you just it's about drive and survive. No offense against F1, right? So yeah, my checkers went to the fact that you got some guys in the playoff pool that are clearly just building for the future to set themselves up for that showdown with those two junior motorsports cars. And
he did a good job pushing, like on them restarts. 41 was pushing hard, and I mean, it didn't matter who was in front of him. He was pushing to gain spots, like you said, to help, get those points at the end of the stage.
Yeah, and I mean, it hurts that again, my other homer boy is Sheldon. Sheldon snuck in on the second stage, I think grabbed 2 stage points, but he's got much more vulnerability to the cut line right now because he's not bagging all those stage points, right? I mean, it'd be a homer pipe dream to think that it'd be the 2 junior motorsports cars and our 2 Haas factory cars. And I know I'll get called out online for being a homer, and in this instance, I don't care. So that's my checkers.
I did want to mention one, just kind of one A for checkers before I move on to the records.
Sure.
Those are
it's your host. You're the host. Your show. Do what the hell you want.
I forgot to read the notes. It's not my show. It's our show. Was the CW for doing the post-race interview in victory lane. They communicated it to the drivers this time. We're not doing a front stretch interview. So the 20 drove straight to victory lane, gets out of his car there, old school type, that his crew meets him there. They're slinging all the drinks and stuff. And the reporter gets to walk up and interview him for the first time in Mobile One victory lane. I thought that was really cool. So I like that they're going back to that and that they've communicated it, because when they've done it in the past on these road courses, the guys got out and just awkwardly standing there. But anyway, so I just wanted to mention that.
Not the Butterbean Queen See how I did that? Not the
Yeah.
butterbean queen your ass, but these are the things that you bring as a super fan.
Yeah.
Like that's a legit take. That's
I
something
appreciate
that
that.
I don't think of. Like,
I wouldn't have
get it
paid
off.
attention to that.
Yeah, get it off the front stretch, bring it back. Like when you think of those iconic wins, Petty winning, Earnhardt coming down, after that Daytona 500
Mhm.
And
win.
everybody gave him the high fives.
Yeah, people are like sitting on those old race cars, the Mountain Dew Waltrip car, to the fact that the car will barely roll as there's so many people on it, goes to victory lane, has all the sponsor boxes sit up top, the beer is spraying, had the old dude from Unical that, I mean, almost had as good a hair as me. Look him up, you'll remember him. I don't know why that wasn't me. Yeah, that's a great take. Good job.
Thanks. I
Butterbean.
appreciate that. My wreckers is going to go to Nick Sanchez, who rides up and just absolutely dumps Justin Bonsignor, brings out the caution, resets the field with 70 laps to go.
Sure
Like,
did.
good God, just absolutely just took him out.
And that guy was running top 15 at the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ricky,
Yeah.
wreckers?
Yeah, I'm gonna wreck up in Welcome, North Carolina with RCR. And here's why. I mean, this race largely, for the most part, and I'll get to it in the heck side of things, but it's like pretty much ran its course, right? I mean, it was just, it ran. There wasn't a lot of standout things about it. But the standout thing for me when it was over was early in the year. Think about the RCR cars, their dominance. I remember being at Austin Hill was like this wizard and this witch on anything that was a drafting track, and Love was strong. And now they're sitting with two cars at the cut line. I think Love's +5, Austin's maybe -5. It's some bounce, like right there. It's like there's a very real possibility that to go along with what's been come on, very mediocre year on the Cup side, that they may not have any playoff cars in the Xfinity side, and that's my record.
And part of that was self-inflicted from the penalty at Indianapolis.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Chris, wreckers?
I had my wreckers as Allgaier in a bad pit stop there. He lost 6 positions, which pretty much took him out of the race at the end there.
Ricky,
Pit stops
Heckers?
matter, don't they?
Yeah, pit stops are big. They matter.
Oh, I'm leadoff hitter on the heck. All right,
On the
what the
Heckers,
heck?
yeah.
Yeah, listen, here's what the heck. I watched this race and I'm like, for some reason, and it could be because I was drinking and, don't pass judgment, but the race rips off in just over 2 hours. Okay. Like, I don't know, 2 hours, 15 minutes. That's fine. You're going to get your 2 cautions for the stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
One other one, I think you mentioned, Chad, or Supreme Court Justice, was Sanchez ripping through Bonsignor. But like my takeaway was the race kind of ran with such uniformity that I went back and I rechecked my facts. Do you know like the top 5 cars in both stages were the same top 5 cars in both stages? Like it just ran like a carbon copy with the 7, the 41. I'm sorry, the 7, the 20. Not that I'm mad about the 41. The 7, the 20, the 41, the 88, and the 54. I think in one of the stages, I think in one of the stages it flip-flop and went the other way, and the 8 finished before the 54. But I'm like, when I looked at it, I was like, man, this goes to show you that once you get to playoff time, and this happens in Cup too, those playoff cars run up front, right? And it just seems to mirror image everything. It's just kind of crazy. And I know you brought up Butterbean, and that was a good point, like as the top outside the playoffs car. So my what the heck was just how kind of uniform and almost like press rewind, press play, press rewind, plus press play, and we were at the end of the race.
It was fairly boring in that sense.
Yeah.
But I had my Heckers as another pit stop infraction. This one's on Love when he dumps the clutch there and almost takes the guy's hands off. And luckily he didn't drive the car off the jack with the left rear still not, tight. So that's my what the heck.
My
Super fan?
my what the heckers was Allgaier as well, but it was for when he stayed out late, the last caution. He chose to
Yeah.
stay out and
That was a
just
hecker B.
like
Yeah.
a boat anchor dropped outside the top 10, got no stage points, no points there at the end. That was my hecker. Let's talk some cup.
Here we go.
All right.
Cup it is.
I'm somehow up first. I did this random. I promise
It's
I
all
Why is
did.
good.
that? Why is that a bad thing?
Well,
That's not a
it's
bad
not,
thing.
I guess. I'm going to give my checkers to Denny Hamlin. Um, I first of all, this man at Chris, no, I'm sorry, follicle phenom, as you pointed out last week, is 44 years old.
Yep.
He's won 59 cup races with Joe Gibbs Racing. This man loses power steering in this car before the end of or before stage 3 started or right at the beginning of
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
3,
I would say
somewhere
he
in there.
ran all. Yeah, he probably ran all stage
Yeah.
3. Yep.
So this guy, who is the second oldest driver in the field, is out there wheeling this car with essentially no power steering, holds it up front this entire time, and then has the balls to go down on his own car, get up in him, move him up out of the way, race him rough, do everything we want racers to do to win a race. I have more respect for Denny Hamlin because of the way that he raced Bubba Wallace for the win that he ended up not getting. And I get that. And I get all the people are going to say, oh, he gave it to Chevrolet. He screwed over Toyota, screwed over his own car, uh, all that stuff. I understand it. But the fact that he did what he says always that he's going to do is he's going to be driver first when he puts on that helmet and gets inside that car. And he didn't look at the financial bottom line of 2311, which he could very well do right now because guess what? They're all running as unchartered
Open
cars.
cars. Yep. Open
So they're
cars.
getting less money. The more
Yep.
his cars move in the playoff, the more money he gets at the end of the year. So had he let Bubba Wallace win that race and secure that spot on in the next round, that only benefits him and his team and his personal interests more. But he chose to be a driver. He chose to lay it all out. He said, I'm going for number 60. I don't care about anything else right now inside this car. I've been the best car all day. I've worked harder than anybody all day, and it didn't work out for him. But he drove the way we want drivers to drive. And for everybody who's questioned his allegiance, what would you do in this situation? What would you do? He lived up to exactly what he said he was going to do. So he gets my checkers. Rick?
Wow.
That was pretty deep, Rick.
Chris, did you see his face?
Listen,
Did
he
you
lit
see
up.
how happy this made Superfan?
Yes.
Man, that's so interesting. And that's great. That's a great checkers. And I'm glad he made the Superfan happy. My checkers is, and I hope this makes the Superfan happy. My checkers is the playoff racing format that we run under and the finish that this race produced. Now, I know I'm going to hear, didn't matter if there were no playoffs, they'd have still raced that way and you'd have got the same finish. I'm not so sure. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not so sure. Okay. Bubba had no problem roughing up C. Bell, not once, but twice. And I say roughing up, I just mean basically the same thing Hamlin did to
he ran him wide twice.
Absolutely. Thank you. The best way to say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did that because he knew in that moment there was more value in a win than there was in 35 points in the old point system. Okay, he knew that, so he ran him that way. Fast forward to Denny Hamlin. I think Superfan just did an amazing soliloquy about how he appreciates this much racing and how he's going for the race and going for number 60 and going for that. Want to know what he was going for? He was going to advance his ass through the next round and felt no problem to rough up Bubba, right? And he did. And he was winning. And oh, by the way, here comes this Chevrolet, and the two side slam each other, glance off each other.
So that's running wide number 3.
That's 3. That's 3 if you're keeping track at home. Okay. And I'm going to give you a 3B, which was, and this one's interesting, but it happened. You can look it up. You don't have to. I did. Okay. Chase Briscoe, on the second to last restart and on the last restart, all of a sudden realized, if we get a new winner, all my polls, all my wins this year, everything, people are questioning me and Martin Truex's car. Can I work with James Small? Bobbity. I could be sitting on the cut line. Holy shit. Let me take it 3 wide into turn 1. On the other one, let me come down off of turn 2 and almost split the 2, but he backed first and second, backed his nose out. That is all happening, my friends, because of playoff racing. Stop trying to fix something that ain't broke. Done.
Listen, to your point there, Ricky Bobby, we had cars on the top, the bottom, the middle, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 tires, 2 tires. But my checkers this week, although my beloved Chevrolet won the race, hats off to them. But you have to give it to those Toyotas where credit is due. It was first through fifth was nothing but Toyotas.
True.
On that last lap.
True.
First through fifth was Toyotas. That says a lot. One with no power steering.
Yep.
I mean, Bubba was a wreck the first 2 stages. He's talking about wrecking it in turn 1, and all of a sudden he's leading the race.
That's true.
Briscoe had a rocket ship. 11 had a rocket ship. 20 had a rocket ship. 5 Toyotas pretty much going down the backstretch. And then here we are with the 9 winning. But
we let Chevy get the win.
We let Chevy get the win. Well, thank you. But Toyotas was fast, and that's my checkers. As a manufacturer, they have shown up every race of this playoff system this year. They won the first 3.
Yeah, the 4th one wasn't so great, but this one was good for them.
Yeah.
Just and just another quick note, while we're talking about those Toyotas, Tyler Reddick ran that whole race while his son is in ICU and showed up, balled out.
Motivation.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how he's able to do what he did. What a pro! Put his helmet on, go drive for his team, for his son, for his family. Shout out to those guys and prayers for them.
He's got a lot on his plate.
Yep. Wreckers, Ricky.
I'm happy that I get to lead Wreckers because I think I'm going to take somebody's, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like everybody gets geeked up when there's big, amazing accidents, right? And this one was interesting with Zane Smith because I got to be honest with you. I don't recall a Cup car ever climbing the wall like a crab, using its right side tires and basically walking itself up the wall. And again, it came from being torpedoed by John Hunter Nemechek. But the fact that this car like rides up and turns and then does and I mean, there were plenty of replays, right? So it does this unbelievable slide through turns 3 and 4. And the reason I'm giving it the Wreckers is because people get into the theatrics and the, oh my God, we want to see that WWF moment. And oh my God, when the Melon Man rode the wall. I don't really think there was much going on when he was riding the wall because he's just pinned in there. What fans maybe don't understand is that slow roll that came down off the wall is what kicks drivers' asses because there's no suspension. The driver is so strapped in to those custom racing seats that he literally becomes part of the chassis. Just think of it that way. He becomes part of the chassis. So the tires are blown. Last time I checked, there's no suspension on the left side and the right side sides of the car. There's no suspension on the roof. And when it does land on its wheels, which are flat and broken and shoved up in, it basically is just pancaking him. That is a brutal, brutal, even though it doesn't look like it, because it looks like that car's rolling in slow motion. That is the brutal part of a very much talked about, I'll call it glamorous wreck. That was my wreckers.
I had the same thing. You also got to remember, these cars are 3,400 pounds.
Yep.
And
it's
to
super
your point,
rigid, super rigid.
And to your point of the slow motion and no suspension, his body absorbed all that energy as it tumbled.
It's the only thing that's in there that's live with blood and muscles and tissue and mass. Everything else is machinery. It's metal.
Right. And for him to absorb that slow motion, I mean, he caught every bit of it. And like you said, he can't move. He's strapped into those custom seats. Like, there's no give. It's all...
He's welded to the car. Fans got to understand, the drivers are welded to the car. There's not Dale Sr. anymore leaning back and driving, North Wilkesboro with one hand in the corners. Sorry, it's not.
Yeah. So I had the same thing. That was, I mean, to have the car, like you say, climb the wall and ride its side through the corner the way it did. I mean, crazy. And not for it to be a big wreck, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him climb the fence and, suspensions off in the crowds at, big wrecks in Talladega and Daytona. But to have it, on a 1.5-mile track ride the wall like that you don't see that often.
You don't.
Yeah. And that was, I had the same wreckers as well. I mean, and that was the thing. I talked to my dad about that wreck, and I was like, we see these kind of things, to your point, at super speedways, but when have you ever seen this at 1.5 miles? But I saw a photo on social media, Instagram, Facebook or something, of there was another time, and I wish that I had saved the photo, but it was a 38 car, and I don't know who was in it at that point, but it was sideways riding the wall. Guess who went to victory lane that day?
Chase Elliott.
So,
well, the 38 then, if it was more recent, it was Gilliland. Wasn't Gilliland was in the 38.
Probably, yeah.
Before they made that number swap. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it could have been somebody else, but Gilliland comes to mind as being the pilot of the 38.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like, what in the world was John Hunter Nemechek even doing? I mean,
he fell asleep behind the wheel.
It literally looked like he just
drove his ass right through him. He's a missile.
Like,
it was not pretty.
Yeah, no, not at all. All right, heckers, Chris.
My heckers is I have the 45 with a pit stop issue early on. I think it was when the 51 crashed early there. Set him back. He had to come back around, get another set of tires. And at the end of that stage, by lap 195, I think, he was back to P8. So, like I said, those Toyotas have rocket ships. For him to lose all that lap, lose all the positions, and then drive back through the field to P8 is my what the heck.
Yeah. My what the heckers was Bubba Wallace. And I know we've been here before. We've talked through this before. But, everybody's talked about how much Bubba's changed and how much Bubba's different. And, what was it? 6-8 races ago, we were having this conversation, how after he got out of the car, whenever it was, whatever, well, he's losing his mind on the radio to his team, talking something like, drive it in the wall or something. I don't know, but just about how bad his car is, all this, just absolutely losing it on his team. And then everything happens with Denny. And look, I'm not saying Bubba doesn't have a reason to be upset, but then he's like flipping Denny off on the cool down lap, and then he gets out of the car.
Was he?
Yeah, yeah. There's video of it, and he talks
See,
about it.
this is what the super fan
Yeah,
brings
see,
to
I
light,
missed all of that.
Because
Yes.
I know on pit road, obviously they're going to stick a microphone in his face.
Right.
Yeah.
And his comment then was,
2 years ago, I might have said something.
Yeah, but he used me. He was a dumbass,
Right.
and I can
That was
say
a
that even though he's my
move.
boss. He called him a dumbass, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was after he flipped him off for the cool down lap.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he said, I was flipping him off as Denny the driver, not Denny the owner. And no, I'm sorry. Denny, I think on his podcast said something to the effect of he was flipping me off as Denny the driver, not Denny the owner. So I have to put it in that.
Wow, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Thank God we have a super fan.
Yeah,
but
appreciate you, super fan.
This guy continues to just.
He's an interesting
meltdown.
He's an interesting personality, isn't he?
I mean,
is that just passion or craziness?
It's got to be a mix in there somewhere. But we talked about this before. Just like, how do you keep your team motivated to work for you after you talk to him like that? After he treated him the way that he did before, when he got out, walked away, made his comments or whatever, after he crashed out before, didn't stick around for them to try to fix the car. What was before he had a wreck, didn't even, know how bad the damage was. And he had already let the window net down, unplugged everything. They're trying to talk to him on the radio and he had already unplugged his radio. Like,
I don't know. He's not the first to do that, though. I mean, look at some of your potential Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers. We'll start with Harvick. He cussed pit crews out every week almost.
That's true,
right? You're fan there, your buddy that drove that 18 car.
Yeah, he was rough.
He was rough on his guys.
Yeah, and
not only was he rough on equipment, he was rough on humans.
Yeah, and he was in 100%. But I think also, he will probably tell you, looking back, that when he, Joe Gibbs was very open of, hey, we were having a hard time finding sponsors because of some of those antics.
His brother was pretty bad too.
Oh yeah. But I went, and he suffered for it too, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder at what point and I know we talked about this before, but at what point does McDonald's or Chumba Casinos or any of these people start going, man, like when did these tirades and when did these meltdowns stop? Especially when you do it again. You go back to the shop and you do and say whatever you want to your guys, but to absolutely chastise your team and say, and I don't have the exact quote, but
You're
something to the fact
nice guy, Chad.
to run it into the wall, like
that's just saying how loose he was and how bad the car was performing.
Yeah, I think, but his statement was something like, I might as well just run the thing into the wall or something.
Hey, listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate right now.
All right. Ricky, what did you have?
Yeah, I'll just wrap it up with Heckers here. Interesting two-part Heckers. Did you know, this is from the Did You Know department. Did you know who's won the most races this year from an OEM standpoint? Did you know, Superfan?
I'm going to guess Toyota, but I don't know.
Okay. So it was a tie. It was a tie between Toyota and Chevy. They had won 12 wins each coming into this race. Thought that was interesting. And here's why I thought it was interesting. Because now the tie is broken. Okay. And the tie is broken because a Hendrick car, number 9, fan favorite, Chase Elliott wins the race. So now, if my math is correct, 12 plus 1, is 13. So they got 13 wins. But here's the underlying thing that always happens in a NASCAR race, and you watch enough of them, At one point, I think it was yellow 5 or yellow 6. You can go back and look. Carson Hocevar literally drives through J.J. Yaley. I mean, just
Dumps him.
straight up like a snowplow just drives through him.
Sends him to the grass there, the infield,
yeah. The reason I bring it up is because when things like that happen, that maybe you could say shouldn't happen, or why did they happen? Okay. It's like an old Star Trek episode, right? You're changing the time continuum of the race, right? Not to get geeky, but so on the next restart after Hocevar's deal was the big pileup, right? That was the pileup on the restart. So events, actions lead to reactions, and it changes the race. Chevy, to Chris's point he made before, right? There were like 5 Toyotas running up front for the majority of the race. Chase Elliott comes through and, I mean, he ran great, kind of steals one, but the flashpoint for how that race changed happened a couple cautions before that. So whenever I see the, I used to call them like the, the 44 car caution, or, the Wise caution, or somebody who's running, he spins, or he gets in the wall, or he loses a tire. I assure you, when that happens, it changes the course of the race. And that is what happened with Hocevar's caution.
Yeah, because I think the 9 took 4 and everybody else took 2 of that caution.
Or
the caution afterward.
That is correct. And that is what allowed him to be such the aggressor coming on those 4 freshies when everyone else had taken 2. That's a great point.
I think he was the first car on 4 while everybody else in front of him took 2.
Speaking of that caution, NASCAR announced today that they fined Carson Hocevar $50,000 for a behavioral penalty during that caution. He after he smoked,
he tried to smoke. Well, he was pissed, right? And he revved up the car, I think is what I saw, and gunned it when the safety workers were right there, because he wanted the car to go and he didn't want to be extricated from the car, because then you're out.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, he attempted to he spun his tires in an attempt to rejoin the field while safety workers were attending to his car.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that's interesting.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Let's do some Call Your Shot.
Call your shot.
So I think we ended up, Rick somehow managed to win another week.
Again.
Why? What do you mean somehow?
Chad, you was P2?
Yeah. I managed to get a P2, and Chris, you came in last.
Again.
Oh, Jesus.
We swapped last week, so I just regained my
position. We have got to do something about this, Chad. I mean, listen, we are here to support our boy.
Rick finished 3rd, you finished 4th, and then Larson finished 6th, I think.
All right. So here are some of the betting odds for the Roval this weekend. Shane Van Gisbergen at -150.
Who's that?
Never heard of her. Christopher Bell at -110. Kyle Larson at +800. +1,000 for Tyler Reddick. +1,400 for Chase Elliott, and 1,400 for William Byron. I think that's mine printed weird, but I think that's right. So Ricky, you're up first.
Nope. Not doing it.
I'll go first. Listen, I'll go first. And
that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm going to take Tyler Reddick, because he's got something on his shoulders right now. Listen.
He's good at the Roval too.
Yeah. Where'd you go, Ricky? That was your guy?
No. Is it my guy? Fine. Is it my pick now?
I guess.
Is it my pick?
Somehow I get bumped to last.
Well, no, I was first, wasn't I?
Yes, you were first.
I listen, here's what I did on the freeway.
Trying to help, yeah. You gave Chris the wave around.
Yeah, I'm like this. I pointed out the window. I'm like,
come around and rejoin the field.
Brother, I love you.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. That's the world's favorite you get ready to spit out right now. The world's favorite. And I think it's going to go wrong. I think it's going to go south.
Yeah, and the sun won't rise tomorrow. Go ahead, Chad. You can make your pick. You know who mine is. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Tell you.
I told you before we.
At least it wasn't Bowman. I thought he'd come up with Bowman, maybe. Remember he hit us with that one, that Bowman.
Listen, Bowman was on a mission.
Listen, he came out with what Ryan Preece. It like where did it come out?
He was
remember
hot.
that one?
He was hot. Ryan was hot.
He came out with Preece. And I love Preece. Oh, that's
right.
fantastic.
This week, Chris is going to go all in on JJ Yaley. And
hey, listen, 44 all day.
What do you got, super fan?
Well, I told you beforehand. I thought that SVG was going to make the final
piece
four.
Of paper that you have. It's like,
yeah, I think it's SVG.
I just picked him. You can't pick him too.
Okay, now I'll pick somebody else. I thought you said go ahead and pick. I'm not picking yet.
But he said, you know who my pick is.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Listen, on this one, we needed the Supreme Court justice to weigh in because Bearden's had a tough mental day.
I have had a tough.
He's like, are you a 48 regular or a 52 fat?
It's asked that question a lot today.
Sorry.
You know what? I'm going to go with it's redemption time.
Uh-oh.
Things started headed south at the Coke 600. I think Kyle Larson is going to show up. I will take the 5 car for the win.
Can't hate that pick at all. Can't hate that pick at all.
No, that's a good one too.
So you know what? If I can't have SVG, I think Larson finally.
Well, it's not that you can't have him. You just need to pick better to be higher in the order, and then
pick worse, and you'll give me the waiver round like you did,
to
Chris.
The fastest freaking guy for 16 years in North Carolina. And I keep trying to hand him a plate of food, and he flips it in my face, and he's like, "Nah, I think I'll do this. I'll eat dirt."
Listen, it's nothing personal. My gut's saying.
I know.
All right, listen.
Your gut tells you a lot of things. Right now, your gut should tell you that it's hungry.
We have an exciting weekend coming up. The 3 of us are going to be at the track this weekend. We are not going to be alone. We have our contest winners coming into town. They've been texting me. They are fired up, and they are actually bringing a really, really cool gift for us that we do not get to keep. They are bringing us something to give away to someone else.
It's certainly not beer because I would drink it.
No, he texted me earlier this week and he said, "Hey, I would like to give you this to give away when you get to 500 followers." So we'll do a little video with him this week while he's here and let people know we're going to run some kind of contest. And when we get 500 followers on our Instagram page, we're going to give that away. It's super cool. Rick, after I will give you a hint here. After the retirement message you got, you're going to want to see this thing. So super excited to have them here.
That's cool.
We're going to kick this weekend off right Friday night, Rick.
Yeah, Friday night. Listen, I feel like I've been talking about this for 12 weeks. Maybe I have. I don't know. We're 20 and we're 31 weeks into the season. It's pretty simple. Go to downtown Kannapolis. It's called Old Armor Beer Company. Just get your ass down there. 5 p.m. in the afternoon. You can take in the truck race. Listen, down there in downtown Kannapolis, you will somehow, amazingly, find the 3 of us up on stage letting us do this live, which I guarantee we need to get there by noon because there'll be every technical problem in the world. Chad will be like, I'll plug this into this and do this. And Rick, you should have brought this. Something will be my fault, but whatever. Come on down to Old Armor Beer Company. See us do this live. And more importantly, don't come see us. Come drink beer and come drink beer with our guest.
Yes.
We have a guest.
Yes.
Chad, who do we have?
Carrie Earnhardt is going to be in the house. He's going to be drinking that officially licensed Earnhardt beer with our guys.
He or
I said with our guys.
Oh, you said we. Okay,
Yeah.
he.
I said he's
Okay.
going to be drinking it with you.
Thank you.
And hopefully everybody else who's there hanging out.
Does he know that part of it? Are you sure, or am I going to be disappointed?
Yeah. No, he's in.
You've told him what a pain in the ass I am?
He's
Because
in.
I know. I understand. Like, you can be honest with me. I don't care.
No,
I've been through a couple beers tonight. We're okay.
We're okay.
We're good.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be good. And then we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. We're headed south to the great state of Alabama, Chris.
That's right. We'll be at the Talladega NASCAR Experience. That will be Sunday, October 19th at 9 a.m. And that is at the NASCAR Experience stage with yet another special guest. And we got our guy.
Talladega leaked it this week.
They leaked it, so we can go ahead and put it out there. Our man, our homie, our guy, Noah Gregson, will be back with us on stage. NG.
So I got to say, NG.
NG will be there.
I'll bring the hat. I'm bringing the hat.
Yes. So we're going to have some fun there. Sunday morning, 9 a.m., the NASCAR Experience stage.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And all that's going to be brought to you by our friends from Cord Buddy, our guy Travis taking care of us. You guys, please go check them out. They have done an incredible job supporting us, and we want them to continue to do that. So go check out their website, cordbuddy.com, CHORD buddy.com. Check out their full line of products. They got the Cord Buddy, the Uke Buddy. They've got that incredible tuner that I've been using. That thing is I can't say enough good things about it. Super accurate, super easy to use. And listen, these tuners that clip on the end of your guitar, I mean, these things most brands are going like 50, $60 for these things. They're $24.99, I think, on the Cord Buddy website. And I mean, super accurate, super easy to use, but they have full line of guitars, all that stuff. Yes, Lord. So go check them out. Please tell them we sent you. We're excited. We are excited to be hanging out with Travis and the crew there in Talladega. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to have them out. And be looking for our guest episode. It's going to come out the day after you hear this one. We got an exciting one this week, boys. What a fun interview. Yes. We got Miss Jessie Punch on the show. She is an absolute fireball. So much fun.
Get your corn dogs ready.
Corn dogs ready.
So make sure that you're checking that out. Please share this thing with your friends. Like, even if you just send this to one person who's never watched this show or listened to this show before, that helps us out a ton.
We can get to 500 before this time next year.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's all about progress.
Lots of cool things coming up. So please, just if you just send it to one person, just ask one person to follow. That just lets us spread like wildfire. And they need to do what, Chris Justice?
Smash that subscribe and like button. Smash it.
Smash it. I like it.
We need more Matt Haases. We need more superfan Jessies. This is what we
Lucky
need.
Larses.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna get to see Jesse in Talladega too. Excited about that. There's a couple other people who reached out to me on TikTok.
Well, you've been holding back on us.
Well, there was a guy.
What's TikTok? Is that like a clock? What are we doing on TikTok?
Yeah, pretty much. But we're sharing videos.
You don't gotta be like that about it.
No, there's a guy on there who he posted a video about he's trying to get his girlfriend into NASCAR, and she watched her first NASCAR race, but they're going to Talladega, and he was like, "What are things that we should do at Talladega?" I'm like, "Hey, I know something cool that's happening." I said, "You know what? You come by, you bring your girl. We're gonna get her in some cool stuff. We'll hook her up with some cool stuff. We'll get her fired up about NASCAR."
Yeah. How about walking her down? How about walking her down Talladega Boulevard? That'll change her life.
Yeah. He was trying to find her some pit passes because that's her first race, and I was like, "I don't know that I can help you there. It's pretty full at this point, but you bring her." They have grandstand passes.
You don't need pit
at the
passes to
race.
walk
No.
down Talladega Boulevard.
Yeah, you don't need pit
Or
passes for
or
that.
to come to the NASCAR fan experience and hang out
That's
with
true
us.
too.
That's
true
right.
too.
Sunday morning. 9
Sunday.
a.m.
Sunday.
Oh my God, Rick and I had a similar thought
We had a
process.
little moment there, didn't we? That's so nice when that happens. Oh God.
All right, it's been another fun show, guys. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see y'all on Friday.
Go.
I went wide open, hoping for a little taste of that